What is going on, guys? It's Dealer here, back again with yet another RDX podcast. The show where we cover all the latest and greatest in gaming, but we, of course, do focus on Xbox, Microsoft. We got some stuff regarding Google today, but really, hey, we got to get into our panel. We got some shout-outs. We're going to get into some subjects, some topics. Thanks to everyone who showed up here early. You guys are amazing. Let's hit that like button as we get into Zauker. How you doing, bud? We're back. RDX once again. We didn't do it last week. But we're back. How do you feel about that?
I feel really good. I felt like I missed something in my week. Like a part of me was gone. But then Division 2 filled that void real quick, and that's all I've been doing. So yeah, I'm glad it didn't happen because I was playing Division 2 like all of Tuesday. It's great.
Yeah. Cole Eastwood, what have you been playing? And also, welcome back.
Thanks. It's good to be back. Like that week really was really depressing.
I'm scared.
I'm scared.
Yep.
I've been playing like everything. Devil May Cry, Division 2, just jumping around like crazy. It's been fun.
Elker, what? Hey, D-Batch, how you been, bud?
Good, man. Good. I've been playing the Division like the rest of you guys. That game is fucking amazing, man. It's so fluid. It's such a good game, man.
Oh, okay. How many frames did you get in that benchmark?
Well, after I put ambient inclusion and put
Hey, Fonz, are you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
How you doing, bud?
Doing good, man. And I've been playing. I played a little bit of the Division and Devil May Cry, and that's about it this week.
Oh well, we are like I said, we're back after a missed week. I spent some time in Florida, and then I took off out of the country for the first time, and then I got Ebola. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm sick. If I cough and shit, you hear the mic go mute. That's what happened. And once again, thanks for being patient. We don't like missing shows, like keep it consistent, have fun. But also, more importantly, this week I shouldn't sound like I came back from the dentist's office. Last show, I had the de-esser on my DBX too high, and it was like cutting off all these different syllables. It sounded insane. So, things should be running a little more smoothly this week. But hey, we got to get us some shout outs. Also, shout out to Luca. What's going on? And everyone else in the chat, LG, all you guys, you're absolutely phenomenal. And Captain Redbeard, you're phenomenal as well. These RDX sponsors are the guys who really power the show. Lethal Papa, Darge Knight. We got Prime Suspect, Michael Bowen, Channing Pennington, Guillermo Cavillo, Robert Prather, and of course, Michael Bowen. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Thanks for everything that you do. And you know what? I want to go ahead and shout out to Jezzy Up on Twitter, patron 1 Metro Exodus here recently. So once more, links down below. You want to win some games, be on the podcast, whatever. We also should be getting Gaming Addict. Did Addict show up? I invited him up here. What's going on, brother? Give your intro. How you been?
What's going on, you guys?
Hang on. First things first, Addict. You don't come here without some crack rocks or something. Like, wake the fuck up. What's going on, man?
Look, man, the crack rocks are on their way, okay? I had to go get it because I just don't have that shit on deck all the time.
You ordered it off Amazon?
No, I can't buy crack rocks off Amazon, okay?
Yeah,
it's got to be the old lady named Susie down the street.
Well, in either case, man, thanks for joining us. I saw you streaming Dream Daddy, so, it's pretty funny, and I had to get you in here just to ask you.
We won't talk about that, but
okay.
that doesn't exist.
Right,
never happened.
To everyone else, once more, thanks for showing up. Addict, thanks for showing up, man. We're going to get into a bunch of great topics. We're going to actually start with Stadia, which is Google's new streaming service, right? It is Stadia, right?
Going
Stadia.
right into it, aren't we?
We're going to start with Stadia because obviously it's kind of the hot thing, but Google's new streaming service, they did debut the controller. There is no console. That was simply a rumor, which I did post in the comment section of my video about that. And they do also go into detail about what kind of fidelity and stuff you're going to get there. D-Batch, I know when you saw this, your dreads were in the air, bro. You were shocked. How did you feel about this, and what kind of information really stuck to your brain?
Man, so much. The tools for the developers in the cloud, that's amazing. But just stuff for the gamers. Honestly, tell you, I expected 1080p, 60 frames per second. I thought that was going to be the standard of the system, providing that you had good internet connection. When these guys said 4K 60 and then HDR, my mouth just hit the floor. I couldn't believe this claim. And the ease of streaming it to YouTube, with if you get their controller using their share button, and that when you're in YouTube, you could queue up a lineup for people to challenge you in multiplayer while you're using this console. I thought that was incredible. And then the specs that they dropped on us, that this thing is a custom-made AMD SoC. It's 10.7 teraflops. The CPU is running at 2.7 gigahertz. Now, some people, when I streamed it earlier today, some people were like, oh, that seems a little bit low. 2.7 gigahertz with like a multi-core.
You're talking about a server grade processor.
Yeah. And on top of that, it's a server grade processor as well. Even if it wasn't a server grade processor, 2.7 gigahertz, like over like, 8 cores of 16 threads is more than enough to push 60 frames per second anyways. But yeah, it's a server grade CPU. That's incredible. You can use your own controllers. You don't have to get their controller. And the part that stuck out for me, excuse me, shit. I think your Ebola is contagious.
It is.
And the part that stood out for me was the Chromecast Ultra. So I own a Chromecast Ultra for like 4K stuff, like on Google, right? They have HDR, and that's the only device that does it. So I don't need a device at all. I'm already equipped, and I'm equipped for the 4K 60, I would presume, because that Chromecast Ultra streams 4K 60. All I gotta do is plop on my controller. I'm good to go. And this shit's gonna be launching this year. It's just banana. And then Digital Foundry had a video up today. I took a quick glance at it, and they actually tested it. So they measured the input lag on this iteration of it, like so after Project Stream that we had last year, and they said it's the same as playing the Xbox One locally. So that's pretty incredible. If they can deliver this 4K 60 frames per second, man, this is a game changer. I see a lot of people crying on the internet. The sky is falling.
I'm scared.
Well, let me hang on. We're gonna. There's so many frauds to have a little bit of fun with here, but they did talk about their data center, and I do not like how they acted like they're in a league of their own. I didn't like that at all, because they're not. There are others that can do exactly what they're doing. There are others that are doing a lot of what they're doing.
You mean their Verizon network map they put up? Like no one else has one of those?
We're the only ones with internet. It's like, we know that's not true, Verizon, but. Yeah, they kind of acted like they're in a league of their own when it comes to infrastructure, and we know that's not true. I didn't like that. The controller, we'll get to some potential negatives of that in a minute, but it did actually look like it was much more contoured for your hands, like I said it would be. It's got it uses Wi-Fi to connect to basically.
It's the DualShock 4 if you looked at the triggers and the shape and the
kind of. But they did talk about 8K resolution as well coming. 4K is not available now, but should be at launch, they said, with HDR. And then they said they can even do 8K in the future. But I'm kind of a show me motherfucker, don't tell me type of dude, right? So I don't know. I found it was nice. And really what was impressive, and people are saying Microsoft needs to respond. No, there was nothing to respond to. I mean, there was. Let me kind of go off on this for a second. Google showed you a bunch of cool concepts, in my opinion. Yes, they were using tech demos and maybe even a game or two that may even see the light of day. You just never know. But for the most part, these were concepts of tools that they built into Stadia. Remember, there's an API for this. When you put a game on Stadia, you literally have to code for Stadia. It takes time. It took weeks to port Doom Eternal over to Stadia and to get it running properly. So time is money. And we all know that when, it comes to developing games, a lot of developers choose the path of least resistance, where the water flows fast and easiest. That's the way they're going to go. And this is going to be a significant advantage for xCloud. xCloud, there is no additional coding. It's an Xbox in a server rack. If it works on Xbox, your Xbox port, your Xbox code runs exactly the same there as it does on the Xbox in your living room. Meaning all of the games you already own should already work on xCloud, right? Provided they're enabled for streaming, and all of the new games should work for xCloud. No additional work on behalf of the developer. That's a major leg up over Stadia, where you literally have to code and port that to Google's little API and do all that stuff to get it working there. Now that's a given, and new games will probably be coded more and more as we go for that. But at the end of the day, xCloud is going to be more accessible. And I think xCloud is probably going to have a lower price as well. I think Microsoft are onto something here with their pricing of things like Game Pass and all that. But Google kind of showed us a lot of cool stuff. Nothing that's real in a way, right? Because we didn't see anything aside from Odyssey, which is a really demanding game on PC. But there just wasn't much there. There was a lot of cool ideas, like D said, some of the tools, get into the stream, share your clips and all that stuff easy. Play the part that I just played. The coolest part was maybe you're watching a video about Assassin's Creed. There's a button there, play now, and it just boots it up and lets you go. That was really cool. But otherwise, I was like, yeah, it's cool, and I get where you're going with this, but I haven't seen anything that really is gonna blow my mind, right?
Well, we're
Colt?
not going to see anything. Oh, go ahead, Colt.
No, I didn't say a word unless you're asking me.
Yeah, I was.
We saw them like jump right to the game. Like you don't have to worry about installing a game, which is cool. I just don't know what they're going to charge. If I was running Stadia, I would make it a free service, but all the games are in Google Play Store. As long as you buy the game here, the service is totally free, and I sure hope that xCloud is the same thing. And I'm going to give the floor to Zocker.
Well, I was going to say that for right now, they said that it's going to launch in 2019, but people need to understand that we're not going to have like crazy things that are like, wow, I need to play on that until a little later. Right now, they're building a culture within Google. You can tell, hiring Jade Raymond to run that studio. And it's not just because like, oh, she's making games. No, she said that we're going to get developers prepared, third-party developers prepared to make games for this. So it's very intelligent of them to say that, because not only like Dealer just said, xCloud, you make an Xbox game, it's on xCloud, it's okay, and it's on PC apparently, right, with GameCore. That's Microsoft has been ready for this kind of competition, and they've been preparing for that for years. Google is that.
Here's the difference, though, is like even with GameCore, they realize that latency is always going to be an issue, especially with multiplayer games. That's something else that Google literally they did a backflip over that question, right? They didn't really address it. They didn't give us a real number. We hear it's around 60 to 80 milliseconds, no matter what they tell you. That's probably what it's probably around, and that's on top of your TV's input lag. So Microsoft see that hurdle, and they realize there's always going to be a place for local hardware, and that's anybody that wants low latency. That's why they want your Xbox games installable natively on your PC, right?
Yeah. And I understand what you're saying about the latency, and they kind of like did dodge it. They didn't bring it up or the price or anything like that. But to me, Jesus, man, I'm starting to cough too. But to me, I just think everybody's dying. But to me, I think that it's just them building a foundation and an identity right now. And I think that, hiring Jade Raymond, hiring all these people to like run studios and then get third-party developers in there is a smart thing. Because if they didn't have that, it would have been really bad. They would have had nothing to go off of, nothing to show, and it would have just been pretty horrible. But for them to kind of like be like, hey, this is coming now. These are the two games that we're talking about. Yeah, there's 4K and 8K, right? And they're like, but it's just, for now, it's just them entering the gaming space, and we're going to see more money funneled into them, and we're not going to really see the true identity of what this is until about 2, maybe 3 years.
Yep.
Right now, it's just a big, no matter what they say, yeah, it's launching. But honestly, for the next year and a half, it's basically a beta. It's them testing out their stuff.
They're launching in 2019 for some reason, but you won't see any of this, like all this cool stuff. Pick up where I did and try my shit. Watch, oh my God. You won't see any of that shit for almost 2 years in an actual game.
And by then, the new PS5 will be the same power as the Stadia specs.
With no latency, right?
Yep.
I'll say this. A few things that people kind of like glossed over. I think it's pretty incredible that they're going to offer 4K 60 with HDR and surround sound at launch. So it's off to a good start. Mm-hmm. And let's remember who we're dealing with here. We're dealing with Google. So if anybody could do it, this is Google. We're on their very platform right now. Look what they've done with YouTube.
They fucked up YouTube a lot, though, to a lot of different people. The way they've turned YouTube, and they're, hey, fucking talk negatively, run a game into the ground and get 200,000 subscribers in 6 months.
I hear what you're saying, but
they're preparing us for. They're preparing us for Stadia.
They manage everything though. Like they manage all the streaming, all the media, and it's for the most part. Of course, there's going to be problems, but for the most part, it runs pretty well. So don't count Google out there. And also, too, let's look at the APU that AMD built for them. This is a 10.7 teraflop GPU.
What is that, like a Vega 56 about?
I
think it is. It's almost identical to Vegas.
Yeah. It's got like 16 gigabytes of HBM2 memory that they share with the system or stuff. So it's pretty specced out. Now, if they're doing this for the streaming consoles, just imagine what we're gonna get in the next generation consoles. And all these leaks that we've been seeing kind of look a little bit closer to the truth now when we see what this system has.
Hey, Face 23 says, but you believe everything Microsoft says, right? No, fuck Face. Did you not just hear us? We're talking about the latency. No matter what they tell you, there's going to be latency. We just literally said that. So
there's always going to be. Listen, gamers need to get this to their head. Listen, this is happening. You can't change it. Mm-hmm. If you don't like streaming, you're not forced to stream. They're still gonna make a physical console, and the physical console and the PC, having your games installed natively, having the hardware native inside your house, is always gonna perform better than the cloud. It's gonna be faster. There's gonna be less latency in the games. The games are gonna look sharper because they don't have to stream anything, no type of compression artifacts. It's always gonna be better. But this is an option, and it's a good option.
Mm-hmm. Well,
yep. And the one thing I saw is that they kept kind of bagging on consoles, right? That whole thing, they were just kind of like, yeah, well, you don't need a box. You know, we're going beyond boxes, or you don't need to buy a $500 box to play a game.
But Microsoft is saying the same thing, so it wasn't much of a bag when Microsoft already said, hey, we realize the limitation, we realize the market and an audience out there. Also, when I was talking about Google Streaming, I want to throw it to Fonz and then Addict after this, but Google Stream does have a significant advantage over xCloud, even if xCloud has slightly lower latency, which it may not. Remember, it's going for, everything with the 4G connection. I think Google's connection requirement, or at least suggested, is a little higher than Microsoft's right now. But at the end of the day, Google has the advantage of streaming these things from PC right now. So you can get games like Odyssey at 1080p 60, eventually 4K 60. And with xCloud, you're running off Xbox One S hardware right now, whereas they will initially actually add Xbox Anaconda server racks to kind of give you a higher tier of xCloud at like 4K 60, whatever, instead of, whatever. You get what I'm saying? So basically, games like Odyssey, you can play at 60 on Google's service, whereas xCloud, if you get that there, you'll be limited to what the Xbox One can do, at least this version right now, without the better Anaconda SKU. So that's something to consider. It's kind of a short-term advantage, and by then, who knows, the Anaconda stuff might be out by the time they actually get their shit rolling. So, Fonz, what are your thoughts on all this stuff?
The more I see streaming gaming, the more I don't like it. It's, when they showed that little demo and you saw the lag there, it just, it turns me off. As I said in the past, I may dabble with streaming here and there, depending on the situation I'm in, but it'll never become, I don't think it will ever become a gamer's primary source of gaming. You know what I'm saying? I really
not a hardcore gamer. Yeah.
No, it's just not even casuals. I mean, the latency is bad in some of these games, man. It's downright terrible for certain games to have that much input lag.
Well, how bad are they? You were looking at the testing, weren't you?
Well, the testing, Digital Foundry did the testing today. It says the same as the Xbox One locally.
Oh yeah, that's what it looked like on the demo too. Every time we see a demo, it looks just like the Xbox One locally.
The demo, to be fair, the demo that we did say today on the Google stage, it was flawless. It wasn't anything like Microsoft's demo, to be honest.
It was flawless? You need to look again, buddy. Yeah, okay. Anyways, there was definitely some lag there when he hit the jump button, and it didn't respond right away on the screen.
He hit it twice.
Hit it twice. Yeah. And it was just bad. And then as soon as he hit it the second time and the character eventually jumped, he unplugged it really quick and went on to the next. And I kept seeing the lag in each one on the live demo. I kept seeing the lag every time he went to another display. And I'm like, this is why streaming gaming is not going to be the be all end all. This is why it will remain an option for many years to come. It will remain an option. You will have local hardware for the next 2, 3, 4 generations. I guarantee it, because streaming is not where it's going to be at yet. It's not. And everybody wants to talk about, they're talking about 4K, HDR. Nobody's talking about video compression. Video compression is a real fucking deal with this streaming gaming. And you know what? I've seen it myself with PS Now. I've seen it with GeForce Now. When you have a lag spike or whatever, your internet fucking goes down because your brothers are playing games or your kids are playing games and they're online and they're affecting the connection. You will get artifacting. You'll get video compression to hell. You'll get an ugly picture.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bugs and kinks,
I'm
right?
scared.
I just want to just address something real quick about the demonstration. When he was going back and forth to TVs, I think the reason why he had to hit the button twice is because the control didn't pair with it yet, because he was going back and forth so quickly. I think that was the issue. And I'll say that someone that actually played Project Stream, it works. So
Yeah, I mean, everyone I've heard talk about it has said they're impressed. And either way, this isn't even Generation 1, right? This shit's an alpha.
This isn't on live. Yeah, this isn't 2008 on live made by some company.
Guys, I mean, stop all this. I mean, you got to understand though, there is game streaming out there right now that you can test. There is latency and there is video compression. You can test it right fucking now.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's saying that there's no compression or
You're gonna get compression, but the difference is the quality of the servers. Okay, you're talking about NVIDIA GeForce server, and now we're talking about Google. We're talking about Azure. These are like different levels, and I do understand what you're saying because I have played the GeForce experience, just the streaming part of it. And you're right, you can get some lag spikes and the picture will break up and it'll pause and this and that. And I'll say this once again. From my own experience from playing Google's Project Stream, which is the same shit as this, it ran well. I had 1080p, 60 frames per second. The odd time I did have a hiccup here and there, which is to kind of be expected in in the beginning stages of this type of cloud technology, but nothing that was game breaking. It was something that maybe lasted 2 seconds. Once in a blue moon. If I had to rate it, I would rate it a 95%, man. It was pretty good.
That's good, man. We got to give a shout out to Eternal Shadow. What's going on? But I really don't know, man. That's all very confusing, Shadow. But thanks for the question, bud.
Here's the thing. It remains an option for Xbox, right? The streaming thing. Right now, it's an option. But with this Google Stadia, it seems to be their primary focus. This is it. This is game streaming is the be all end all. They're not having a traditional console out there for you. So this is what they are pushing. And I think that they're putting themselves in a very, very like small corner there. And it's going to be tough to compete with local hardware. I'm sorry. It's going to be tough for Google.
And they know that. They didn't acknowledge any benefit of local hardware. They kind of Phil Harrison, first off, they hired Phil Harrison, the guy that helped run the Xbox One into the ground in 2013. That's really funny to me. But they didn't acknowledge any benefit of local hardware. There are tons of benefits to be able to do what they're saying you should be able to do, which is not really a car, a console's just an expensive car, and Microsoft and Sony only make money on the gas. They sell you this big expensive car so you can then buy gas for it so they can finally make money. And really, they want to get rid of the car and just let you buy the gas so you can drink it and huff it and shit like the rest of us, right? So that's what they want to do.
But Google doesn't want to make a console and have to revisit it in 4 years and come up with something that'll keep up with the times.
Nope.
Hey, the funniest part of this whole stream was I'm sitting there watching this stream. They're talking about this game streaming. Oh, it's great. We're going to give you 4K 60 frames per second. And then all of a sudden, the stream itself gets all fucked up. And I'm like, yeah, that's streaming
that
for
was
you.
funny. Yeah.
In either case, I mean, it's not even out. So I'm the last to sit there and say it's going to be a certain way if it's not even out. Like I said, it's an alpha. I'm not really particularly going to use it or whatever, but it is a curious technology. It will come along, and I want to hear Addict's take on it.
Is he even here?
He's not here anymore.
I want to say that.
What? He bailed?
Yeah, he had to go do something. You can read in the chat.
Okay.
I want to say that I'm kind of cheering on Google right now. I want to see them succeed with this. I want to see this work so that everyone can understand that this could be a viable option to play. Like, if you get booted out of one TV, you can go onto another one or another screen, play your games, and know that it'll be an enjoyable experience. So, I'm not like a big Google fan. Like, we enjoy some of the stuff they do, but I want to see this work. I mean, I know Fonz and I are polar opposites. Like, Fonz is like a little pessimistic about what he's seen, and he's critical, and I'm glad he is, because we need to point out the things that aren't working. But on the other hand, I want to see Google like write these things. Like, iron out the wrinkles and get it ready. And when it's ready, like let's say 2020, early 2020, when we're getting ready for next gen consoles, hopefully Stadia is like running really well. We're all getting to try it out. Maybe it's really cheap or it doesn't cost anything. We buy a couple games to just try it. Like that's what I'm cheering on right now.
Yeah, and competition as well, right? So it is what it is. I don't think it's the end all be all. If everything they showed worked perfectly and had just super low latency, the kind of low latency I don't think it's going to have, then that would be insane. But until then, we just don't know.
But don't you only see this as being competition for xCloud, not really competition for Sony or Nintendo?
If anything, if both sides are losing market share, then they will reduce price. They will be more competitive. So, I mean, and two, we can't forget PlayStation Now. They tried this shit years ago, right? So, like some little turd who just has to see Sony win. All right, people on Twitter are nuts. They live in this shit, right? So he's like, looks like Xbox got crushed, huh? And I'm like, you fucking idiot. PlayStation Now's been out there for years, crushing itself with its 150 milliseconds of input lag. Like, you need to worry about them. How about ask them to compete with Google now? Because they've been doing streaming the longest, right?
And they're all.
And we gotta give a shout out real quick to almost 650 people watch this live, guys. Hit that like button. Help us out a little bit. Let's try to get to 300 for the end of the show. 1,000 if you're watching live or after the fact. Rather, let's try to hit that 1,000. We've been doing that the past couple of weeks. You guys are awesome. And thanks for showing up and supporting as you always do. Absolutely fantastic fucking chat. We get the best chat in the universe. But Colt, I mean, what were you saying, bud? And then we're going to kind of move along to what this other developer said.
That's what I'm saying. I'm good for change. I'm good for evolution. I'm not scared of streaming, becoming a big deal. I'm not scared of it. Eventually, like I said in my video last week, in about 2030, in about 10 years from now, streaming may be where almost all of us are playing. Like maybe we'll still have our console. Maybe we'll just end up playing a lot of our time on streaming because it's seamless. It's like it's all good. Everything's going to change. I don't miss putting a CD in a CD player. I play it on my phone. I play it on my computer. It's totally seamless. It's totally enjoyable. And I'm all for the steps to make stuff better and just for it to change. And it's okay.
Push gaming forward. This is just better for gaming. More competition, more money going into gaming. People creating more games. Right? That studio we talked about isn't just helping third party. They're going to make first party, exclusives. Right, for Google. And that's what they're going to do.
But they won't be exclusive because you can play them on your remote control can opener.
Yeah. So but it's exclusive. Yeah. Fucking God. But people it irritates me. So yeah, people can play on anything they want, sure. But again, you have to be on the Google platform or the Xbox platform, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to bring out more games that drive competition for gamers on top of it.
I'll say I know we're gonna get off this topic, but honestly, I think this is really the drive for the casual gamer. If and this is a big if it works as advertised, and we're getting 4K 60, at launch, and it's pretty much seamless. It's like so good. A lot of casuals are going to be attracted to that, especially those that are yearning for next generation. They can get this service. Hopefully, if it's affordable, like the price is a big thing too. We need to know how much this service is going to cost. But if the price and all these things work out, a lot of casuals are going to be attracted to that. I don't think. Fonz, you thinking that casuals won't be attracted? They will. 4K 60 at the fraction of the cost of a PC, and they can get it on the go. I think some people will.
I think it don't matter if it's 4K. It's going to be, even 1080p 30. Casual's going to be attracted to that. D, you got a super chat. Somebody agreeing with you in super chat. You want to read that?
He's going to have to scroll a bit.
He's like, huh?
Well, I was going to say that I think that the Switch.
Go ahead.
I think that the Switch is basically people don't understand that the Switch was basically a test case for every company. They all looked at what Nintendo did, and it's been hugely successful. And so they all look at it and go, all right, well, everything that we've been working on for the past couple of years to get stuff on phone, mobile, tablet, everywhere, which basically the Switch is doing, you can take it anywhere, is basically them going, all right, this makes sense. There's a market for this and a huge damn market for it. So that's what Google sees. That's what Microsoft sees. That's what Sony sees. That's what all these companies see. The streaming thing is here. It's going to be here this year, and it's going to come it's here to stay, people. That's just the way it is. I'm sorry. And it's going to be pretty cool.
You find that message, D? I can read it if you don't got it.
Yeah, read it for me. Sorry, man.
King John or King Joan, he says, I agree with D. Google Stream was great, and it's only going to get better next year. Basically, when 1 gigabit internet's kind of more ubiquitous. So yeah, I mean it's fresh, and it's only going to get better as almost every single thing does, right? So
And
what do you
also
expect?
too, if Google has the capability of doing this, and we know that Azure is pretty much on the same level as them, the X Cloud is pretty much going to do the same thing. A lot of people say, "Oh, the X Cloud is dead." They're going to do the same thing, except you're going to be able to use your Xbox games that you already own on their service, and they'll probably integrate Game Pass into it. Like, come on.
Do we know that if the PS5 is going to be more than 10.7 teraflops?
Right now, everything's saying it's going to be less.
Yeah, and that's something that they put up there, right? They put the PS4 Pro and the X, and they're like, combined, we still have more power.
Combined, we have more power than these other. Hang on, one of them's 3 years old, and one of them's 2 years old, and by the time our service is actually out and working properly, there's going to be 2 different consoles out. But we're going to go ahead and just pile this shit on anyway, and say best case scenario, the conference.
Hilarious.
That's
We're going to be
what
best for a year.
Well, they did
Yeah.
say that they could scale it over past those the one GPU that they're
They
giving
can scale it, but that's going to take multiple GPUs to do. They can do the multiple GPU aspect, which is cool, but they're not going to do that unless they have to, and that might be another tier. We don't know enough about it. We know it's not free, or else they would have said that. That would have been the big thing. Hey, just buy the games on our stores and you can stream them.
It's going to be
not going to happen.
tier. It's going to be a Netflix tier, man. Like it's whatever, like $11 or $10 for HD, and it's like $14, $15 for 4K and HDR. It's going to be something like that.
Yeah.
That's what.
And I'm not scared of this technology, this future or anything.
scared.
Matter of fact, right now, the way I look at it, I laugh at it because it just does not compete on the same level as traditional hardware.
No.
It just does not compete.
I'm hoping you're kidding, Jerome. Did you really just tell me to stop fighting in the future?
That's what he told me too.
Stop fighting. All
I
right.
think he's
Fighting.
joking.
You
He's
must,
gotta be
you
joking.
must not be
Fuck
watching
around.
these videos where I'm telling you the future 8, 10, 12, 14 months before it's happening. So we're going to go ahead and get into some interesting stuff from who I actually was talking to earlier today, CEO or co-founder of Rainway, which is a different streaming service. This guy, and we were talking in the DMs, I might actually have him on the show, but basically he came out and pretty much said that Google is misleading a lot of people here. And this is a smart guy. So I'm not going to just pretend like he's hating because he's got a competing service. He's got some points. And basically he's saying that, this is Andrew Sampson. And like I said, he's one of the co-founders. So he says that Google's misleading people, especially with their beta stuff. Like I said, I called the Google conference the best case scenario, the conference, because they didn't really have anything negative. They didn't even talk about their lag, really. They didn't talk about how expensive it might be. They didn't talk about any of this stuff, really. So, but he points out that in Google's beta, some people, their resolution was capped as low as 720p due to restrictions, and 30 frames per second due to the same restrictions. So it wasn't all just sunshine and fucking So, and then he also. What are you trying to say, Fonzie? What are you trying to say right now, motherfucker? Huh?
if you are beholden to your internet for your gaming services, you are going to be limited to your.
Yeah, you better not even consider this shit.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, if you got a hamster and you got to throw it some cheese and shit every now and then, like, don't even fucking look at Google's thing, right? So,
it's
not for
ridiculous.
you.
No, it's for the elite internet.
He's like, it's for those of us that are of the elite.
I always hear the people complain. Like, there's no way my internet will handle streaming. It's like, well, your internet is probably pretty ready. When you're like on a multiplayer game, you're the one with the yellow bar. You know, you've always had this problem. It's not for, and I'm not trying to talk down to that person, but it's not for you. It's not this kind of like premier service isn't for someone who lives out on a pig farm. Like, it's just, I mean, I hate to say that.
You don't even have to point it at Timmy on the pig farm. Okay, you can also point at just anybody within the city. You know, and if you've got services that have data caps, you're screwed.
Yeah, it's not for everybody, and it's not supposed to be. It's so somebody said in the chat that was really brilliant. Said the future is changing for the masses. Like they're going for like a whole bunch of people that can, use this service. So,
Yeah.
and we'll just see how it works. I mean, the internet's big everywhere. It's not like everyone acts like everyone has crappy internet.
GG. Hey, bud. We're not talking about people being scared of streamers. When we say I'm scared, we're making fun of a scared YouTuber. Okay, it's got nothing to do with people that don't want to stream. So just so you know, bud. And also,
PewDiePie scares me.
yeah. So
Oh, I mean, we really just mean a few. There's a handful of people that just say they're scared of change and they're doom and gloom, and we just hear it too much. It's like find something to be excited about and ignore the rest of it.
Michael Mooney, if they do
hashtag
$15 for 6 users, same as PlayStation Music family, the Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo can stream and loose. Okay. Well, I mean, they could do like some kind of bulk thing. Thanks for the super chat, Michael. Yeah, they could do all kinds of different bulk things. There's how many devices you can have, like Netflix. So many devices. But I need to get back on topic. So, like I said, co-founder Ramway had some things to say. He says Google are misleading. They're kind of skewing their results. He points out the fact that some users are capped at 720p on that same Google project stream. Some users were capped at 30 FPS. And also says that Google pretends like they're the first to do this when Rainway was doing this years ago on different browsers, not just Chrome. And obviously the controller's Wi-Fi, he says, if anything, having to have that Google controller, which you don't need, but they say to get the best experience, you will need, will actually introduce latency through that Wi-Fi. So, I mean, what explain that to some people, D? I got to go fucking cough.
Well, it's just a delay from setting the signal, and the Wi-Fi is not the best way to send it, right? You'd want it through Bluetooth. It'd be a much quicker way. So you're gonna get that lag when you press the button and it sends the signal through Wi-Fi. So that's gonna be part of it. Like it's not like I said before. This is not going to replace the console. It's not going to replace hardware. It's just going to be something that could quite possibly complement your hardware with the catalog of games that you have on it, so you can play it on other devices, or for someone that just can't afford a high-end PC or can't afford a console, or just plays once in a while, wants to play for a month, when the new hockey game is out, or when
everybody
comes out, right? So
yeah, everybody's saying that this isn't going to replace consoles or local hardware on PC. The only one who's saying that right now is Google because of the situation they put themselves in.
Rainway's co-founder also says certain middleware will not work with this right now either. So once more, as I pointed out earlier, you've got to code games to work on this. And this does include all software like Simply Gone, Havoc, they referenced will work there. It's actually owned by Microsoft, so that's kind of funny. But yeah, different middleware like True Sky and all this other stuff.
He said it's only on Google Chrome. But didn't they announce on the keynote, they said that it's going to be on more than Chrome? It's going to be on different browsers. Eventually, it's going to be on more browsers.
It's much like their 8K claim. People
and they also
it's going to be day one, but it won't.
And they also said they got like the cheapest laptop computer to run. You remember during that test when the guy was going back and forth or whatever to the phone, to the TV, to the whatever the hell on the laptops. Yeah, they said that they had like the cheapest laptop they could find to run it. So, I mean, these are all the things they said on the keynote, and people are going to be holding them to, right?
Well, I also ran it on my on my Surface. It doesn't have it has a good CPU in it, but it doesn't have no type of GPU in it, right?
It's just the video encoding, anything that can encode video.
Yeah, and it ran flawlessly on it.
I got to jump in and just say that, I'm reading the chat and everybody keeps like, I don't know if they think we're talking about xCloud here. We're talking about the Google service, and they keep saying it's just options. Options are great. Like, no, Google, this Stadia is not an option. It is all streaming. So
I think they're encompassing all of gaming when they say options.
Yeah.
Philly Eagle says, good evening, everyone. Options are great. Keep everyone honest and keeps the competition good across the board. Who else is happy for options? We are all happy for options.
I'm happy. I don't think Google's going. Go ahead, dealer.
Go ahead, motherfucker.
All right, bitch. I just think that dealer. I hate him. I just think that Google's not really aiming for that console gamer, right? Like, I mean, I know they went up against the consoles and said, "Oh, this is better than consoles in this way."
They might be aiming for the console gamer.
They might be aiming for it, but I think they're going to be aiming for it in a way of, bringing games to that service, and that's it. Like their own games to that service. That's the only way they're going to try to do that, because no other way, right? Nobody, like, if you want a hardware box and you want to play on your console, that's what you're going to get. That's just the way it is, right?
Yep.
You don't have to take the other options into account, which is fine.
Well, think about a casual gamer who looks at Stadia and goes, I don't have to buy a PS5 or I don't have to buy the new Xbox. I can save $400 and maybe just play all this stuff on this Stadia. Like, that's a question people may be asking themselves in the next year.
Well, and it's going to be readily available. Like, I don't know if you saw that advertisement, like on Twitter, play now, on YouTube, play now, on Facebook, play now, everything. Like that's what they said. Like, we are bringing it right now where you can just fucking click and you're playing within seconds. No loading, no installing, no downloading, right?
Yeah.
That's a big thing they brought up. And that's something like, Phil Spencer, you could tell he kind of knew this was coming because he said, we're trying to get in a way where we can play games faster, load faster, install faster. Everything must be faster. And then Google comes out and is like, yeah, fuck faster. You don't even have to wait. You have 5 seconds, maybe.
Yeah, 5 seconds. Change the channel. In Dernish Gaming. What's going on, brother? Thanks. So glad to have RDX back. Salty said the same thing earlier. Shout out to Salty. I'm always multitasking like crackhead over here. So, Noof, what's going on, brother? Mike D. I don't know, motherfuckers can do some shout outs. I'm the only one over here doing some shout outs. You guys can do it too. But we do got to give a shout out to almost 800 people watching. We're getting up there. Hit that like button, guys. Let's try to get to 300 for the end of the show. 1,000 after the fact. If you're checking us out, we do appreciate it. Maybe share this where you share things. But long story short, co-founder Rainway wasn't happy with the presentation, found it to be misleading. And I think, honestly, he found it to be the best case scenario, the conference, like I did. I don't think there's a lot here for the consumer to be excited about right now. Certain creators may be really excited about this, but until we see actual games implementing this kind of stuff and this working at all, I figured maybe we'd see a demo of Doom Eternal. We saw a load screen, and I only know 1 or 2 motherfuckers who would love that. So,
well, they're playing it on the show floor, and there were people.
Well, they should have played it right there and showed us. Like, that's what we want to see. We want to see games running on this, and that's a AAA game, so they can show it to their grandma behind the curtain over there, or a bunch of people on the show floor. But why not show it for 15, 20 seconds to 1 million people on YouTube, whatever it is, right? So why not? Right, Zucker?
I mean, I don't know. They can do whatever they want, man. Maybe Doom didn't want. Maybe they didn't want to show it. Who knows?
They said, "Fuck these guys. We're not here to impress."
I don't fucking know, buddy. They showed Assassin's Creed. I think they're like, yeah, that's the one that we've been testing. So we're going to go with the proven thing that we know if we're going to be live. And, they're like, Doom was like, hey, we put this shit up in 3 weeks. Took us 3-4 weeks to get this going. And it's cool. You can play it here. People that are here, you can play it here. That's all.
Yeah,
I agree with you. They went with what they thought would work because they knew Doom probably wasn't as safe or as ready.
Yeah, pretty much. Smart move by them.
No, not really. It would have been more impressive if we would have saw Doom running. I think we can all agree on that.
Everybody just wants to see Doom.
They talked about, man, we had to get id up here. We had to make sure it was id proof when we did this, and then we're not going to show you the game.
What I did like though, I agree with you. They should have showed that. What I did like though is that they did announce that they're going to do the first party games. I think that's so important, so crucial, and I think it'll bring some new blood to gaming because we're going to get some new franchises that we don't have on other platforms, which may attract some gamers to try the service when they do release these games. So.
Salty says something. He says, why wouldn't they want to do the best case scenario or show the best case scenario? That's great. Of course, they're going to want to show the best case scenario. But as a consumer, you and I know that there's more to the story. There's latency, there's pricing, there's availability of games, titles, like how there's so many things that educated consumers want to know. And I don't just want to know that, oh my God, that's like them, telling us no matter what, all games will run at 4K on the X. That didn't happen. And they didn't say that. They said it would be up to developers. If they were Google right now, they would have just said, yeah, everything's going to run the maximum everything. Like, for instance, they just wouldn't have had any leeway there. So I would have just, I would have liked, a little bit more information, which tells me this really is still kind of really early, right?
I don't think it's too early.
Yeah.
Like, once again, it is early, yes. But once again, like I said, I've tried it and it's fucking amazing. Like it works. And I think they went the safe road. Look what Microsoft did there. Let's just be honest. That was a horrible demonstration of their xCloud. And I'm sure it doesn't work like that. I'm sure that their xCloud works pretty well, but that was just a horrible demonstration. So it's better to have it planned out and have it go smoothly because such a big event like that, you can't have any fuck ups, man.
Yeah. You hear that, Bob
Yeah, I
Dole?
thought
No fuck ups.
This demonstration wasn't, but this demonstration wasn't very good either. It really wasn't.
Well, in either case, I would just like a little bit of the. Microsoft's been so transparent here lately. That if they come out with something like xCloud, I would like them to be very straightforward and tell us, a realistic experience and not always the, kind of best case scenario. But hey, that's the marketing, I guess. So, late 2019, xCloud and Google will probably have what will be some kind of beta for a lot of
Rival. I thought you were
people.
going to say rivalry.
Yeah, I don't know. Either way,
Cloud
xCloud has its advantages, and Stream will as well. Usability, putting your game in a link, like they found all this really cool stuff and cool ways to do it. It has so much potential, and I'm really looking forward to that.
We haven't said this yet. I mean, I know we should probably close out this subject and move on, but xCloud could possibly launch with every Xbox One playable game, like if they can get that all ready to go.
Mhm.
Like Google Stadia, I'm having a hard time saying that name because it sounds like people say it sounds like a drug, like a pharmaceutical. Stadia, it might launch with like 6 games. Like for me, to be totally honest and a good prediction, like it could have like 6 games it launches with, and xCloud could have like all 3,000 games that are on the platform. So it's going to be interesting. Really, I hope everything works out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I'm going to let you lead this next topic, and that is Sony's Sean Layden going basically, a full-on exposure of how he's kind of thinking. And he said these things before, and it's much like Phil Spencer back in 2016 or 2015, rather, where he started talking about wanting to play his games where he's at. It's his games. He should be able to play them where he wants. Here we are in 2019, and we've got all kinds of streaming stuff coming up. But Sean Layden, head of PlayStation, or at least close enough, right, predicts a world without, PlayStation console. And you did a video on this, right?
Yeah, absolutely outstanding. Like transparency, the way that he talked, like he was so positive and so optimistic about the future. He knows that they have to prepare for a time when, like I said, like there's going to be a time where you just shelve your CDs, just like you may shelve your console. You won't use it as much as you used to. That day may come, and they're getting ready for that. And they want their customers. Now, the funny thing is that Sean Layden knows what apparently his most diehard fans don't know, is that there's going to be a time when their games are available on more than just one little console.
I mean, we've tried to help them understand this, Cole. I mean,
they've been telling them this since 2014.
I mean, we've talked about like how they've brought in PlayStation Now streaming to like your TV, your PlayStation device, your fucking PS3, PC. Even we told them it's coming to PC. I remember on Xbox Nation, they didn't believe us. I'm like, idiots, why do you think they're doing this? Right? So they're the ones who started doing this first, putting their games on all these different devices. Now they're in Japan, they're streaming. Then we get these job listings talking about bringing them to more devices, but in a rebooted fashion. They don't want to believe that. They won't even touch those videos. Yeah, and now there's this, and they still don't kind of believe it, do they?
Yeah, because people get the wrong idea of our podcast too. Like when I'm talking, but I really respect the way Sean Layden has pointed things, because he is so laser focused about first party, incredible content on the PlayStation platform. He's also starting to show their focus about bringing their games to more devices, giving you more place to play. I really like the way that he is pushing the direction of the PlayStation. Like, I think that's really good. But the diehard Sony fans need to understand that there's going to be a time where you don't need a PlayStation console, and that's good. That's a benefit.
It is, and he's talked about like how, one of the most telling things in that interview that we're talking about is that he said, our consoles, people, it's not your hideaway. It's not your hideaway anymore. Like, you don't just go there and be like, this is just all mine. Like, it's not like that anymore. Rat splattered it. You're not there anymore for that. It's not the way he's looking at things. And he even said, I'm going to be, a lot of people that I work with might get annoyed by me saying this, but, it's kind of have to. You have to look at what, and he said Xbox, Nintendo, and other companies are doing, and you need to respect that.
And he said that they're making good stuff, and they're working on great stuff. He said that we are all part of the same gaming community. We just come at it through different doorways. Yep. Sean Layden, 2019. He's starting to speak in the way that Phil was speaking 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah. And that's something that's extremely telling. I mean, how do you not see the future and be like, no, just ignore it. Ostrich head in the sand. Like, no, you're not going to be doing that, people. He's not going to be doing that. Sony wants to stay the leader of gaming, right? Because I'll be honest, that's what they are right now, and they're going to try to stay that in any way they can. And that's
They're
looking
just going
towards
to
the
sit there and
future.
let Google steal all that revenue, Zachary. That's what you got to understand. They're just going to lay
Yeah.
there and just let Google have it all. Beaner super chat. He says, "Love listening to you guys. Don't be afraid to go 24 hours because it's all quality like Xbox too." And the Iron Lords. Shout out to those two great shows, Randolph Thor, Jess Gordon, and of course the Iron Lords. We had them on the last show. But Fonz, hearing Sean Layden talk like this and knowing what you do because you're an educated gentleman. What are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts? My thoughts are that
You're hearing it right
this
from
is-
Sean Layden, finally.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in agreement that the future will go this route, but I just think that that's a long way off before it's the only route, is what I'm getting at. Sean Layden, they want part of that streaming pie as well, and they're going to go after it. It's obvious that this is going to be making money, and that's what businesses have to do. Try to make that money. So I just don't think it's going to be the only way for gamers to play their games. I think people that are scared that consoles are going away are they're just being ridiculous right now. They're not going anywhere.
No,
Not for
consoles
us.
going nowhere.
No, they're not
Nowhere.
It's just innovation, man. It's just difference, right? That's what competition brings. Like this streaming stuff is innovative, people. It takes a lot of money, a lot of smart people to build it. It takes years to build it. This is what innovation is. It's not just innovation in gaming, it's innovation in technology and everything else.
One day, if we could have game streaming to where it's perfected, and you don't have data caps, you don't have issues with your internet. Man, that would be a beautiful thing, right? To just go right into a game within 5 seconds while you're watching a game trailer or whatever. That is amazing sounding, but it's just it's a pipe dream right now. Really,
I
is.
don't have a data cap.
dream,
Does everybody
but
have a data cap?
I don't think it's a pipe dream, but it's early, man. Like
It's
Hang
a
on,
long way
people
off.
are asking for this link. A lot of people are incredulous about this interview with Sean Layden. The link is right here.
yeah.
So just check it out. It's really good article. I mean, if you're a gaming fan, you'll be happy to hear what he has to say. I think it's really good. I agree with him. No matter what platform you love.
Keyword:
worship.
if you're a gaming fan.
If you're a gaming fan.
We all have PlayStations, guys. We all want to play on them. We all want to play their games. So
Freakers,
ahead.
I can't wait.
Freakers. Yeah, so I don't know. Like we've been kind of covering this for a while. We've been telling you it's gonna happen. So it's not like we can sit here and say anything we haven't said before. We'd like to know your thoughts in the chat though. Sean Layden coming out, gonna be a little kumbaya-ish, So
Hey, shout out to the underachiever. His biggest concern is with the whole idea of game streaming is the growing imposition of data caps. He approaches this 1 terabyte every month, and I'm the same way.
mhm.
So I understand data caps are a real thing. Not everybody has them, but a lot of people do.
I just changed my service last week because we did have a data cap, but then I just canceled a bunch of shit that we don't use on TV, and I just added the data cap, which was like I think $30 more or something, and then now I pay even less money on my bill, and I have 400
if you
down.
can't do that,
Yeah.
then it's probably not for you. Or
Yeah.
you most likely don't want to do it anyway, right? But if you don't have the data cap, then this option is not going to be a usable option for you. It's like ray tracing on an RTX card. If you don't have an RTX card, then ray tracing is not an option for you. It's just something you can do, but you don't got to do it. And that's
Some people will
horrible.
be able to only stream their games. Some people will have that option to be like, hey, I don't need to buy a console because my internet's good. I don't have a cap. I can do it. It's fine. I can make that jump.
Dealer.
Yeah.
They just announced today ray tracing on
Oh,
GTA.
right.
Yeah. That's why
18 frames per
that's why I said
second.
at the end. That's why I said at the end. Horrible analogy. Hey, you remember when we were talking about ray tracing and motherfuckers like, you need ray tracing cores? Remember that, D? And we're like,
Yeah.
no, you don't, you stupid fucks. That's part of marketing.
I'll tell
And then NVIDIA says, hey, we can actually we're bringing ray tracing to the 10 series cards now. So
And not only that, I don't know if any of you guys talked about it last week, but Crytek actually had a demonstration of ray tracing. They have a new ray tracing engine in their Cry engine, and they did it with a Vega 56.
That was your video today or yesterday, D?
I think it was yesterday. It was yesterday's video. I talked about that a
Go
bit.
check it out.
Which is crazy. And people thinking that next gen's not going to have ray tracing. It's going to have ray tracing.
What
yeah,
about
it will.
What about people that have really good internet, but they don't have a bunch of money to shell out a really great PC or buy a $500 or $400 console? Like that's kind of where it could flip flop the other direction. Like you could be like a 17-year-old kid and your parents have just totally awesome internet, but you don't have any money. So Google Stadia is like perfect for you. You don't have to buy a big rig, or you don't have to go buy a big console. Like, it's kind of people like look at one direction, the negative, and there's another way. Just funny.
What about the crossplay they talked about? They also talked about crossplay.
Cross save, all that
cross
stuff.
save, progression. That was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I got to give David Robinson, the elder, a shout out. He has a question. He says, is Sony still in debt for $21.5 billion, or did it go away? Respectfully submitted, D9X, aka D9X, parentheses, the elder. I don't know. Are they? Zocker, is that something you know? $21.5 billion in debt for Sony? Anybody in the chat know?
Why the hell would I know that?
I don't know.
Let me go call my good friend up, Sean Layden. Hold on, guys. Give me a second.
What's that, Sean? You're playing God of War on your Game Boy, Sean Layden. Oh my God, this is blasphemy.
Why are you at Google's conference? What are you doing? Shaking hands.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Good question. Maybe someone in the chat knows. I have no clue. I do know they lost a lot of money last generation, but in 2013 they did a hell of a job capitalizing on Microsoft's mistake, and here we are today. They got a viral console even now. So, But Sean Layden saying, "Hey, here we go," and he's starting to sing "Kumbaya" with Microsoft and saying, "Hey, there's avenues that we got to take sometimes." So it is.
That was also a nice crossplay thing. The doorway to other gamer fold was that they're getting ready for crossplay. But yeah, and that's enough of that, I'm sure.
There was also a Sony Take-Two rumor going on that got crushed and debunked almost instantly. But it was
you guys didn't make videos, did you?
Hey guys!
So many were celebrating this Take-Two acquisition, and then they find out it's not true, and then people are like, nobody was celebrating. Yes, you guys were celebrating. You thought Sony were acquiring Grand Theft Auto and all this stuff. Like, of course you were celebrating, right? So that just wasn't going to happen, was it, Zucker?
No. My video was very well received, though. It was a pretty it's a pretty big rumor, to be honest. It's kind of crazy. Like, wasn't it like they are worth like $17 billion or something like that? And people were like, it could happen. Like, it could happen. And I was like, I said in my video, I don't think so. I don't think it's an acquisition. I think that maybe it's probably they have like maybe a deal for a game, like, or marketing something going on there that maybe where there's smoke, there's fire, right? But after a while, people were like, yeah, nothing is happening. Like, nothing. So people were just like, yeah, nothing's happening. It's over. Nothing. Take-Two is just going to chill, make mediocre Red Dead games, and that's it. They're going to move on.
Oh my gosh, I will slap you.
Immortal says, choices are good. I don't know if he's talking to someone in the chat or what. He says, you want to explain how companies will compete if all games are available on all platforms. Yeah, they're competing for that money. When you buy that game on that platform, they get your money. So they want your money. They're not worried. You know what I'm saying? So if God of War is on, let's say, Xbox, Xbox is getting a cut of that sale for one. And Sony, if it were on Sony and only Sony, then only Sony are getting a cut of that money, right? So they're going to, but ultimately, hey, if you sell more, you make more money, right? So there's going to be different ways they can compete, I'm sure.
Mega Bad Seed said that some PlayStation guys had Take-Two in their Twitter names.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That morning, like, Twitter was on fire with this rumor. Like, people would not shut up about it. And then when it got totally debunked, like, I thought all the rats just, like, the flood came. They all just scattered. I didn't hear a word for hours.
All the rats.
A rat trap.
Rat trap. That's what it was. Somebody laid out a rat trap and all the little Sony rats are squeaking around the floor. Take-Two. And then that got debunked and started that rat trap.
I also covered it too, and I in my video I thought it was bullshit. It just didn't make sense. Why would Sony in the first place try to buy them? All that money they'd have to recoup from just the cost of the company, and the games, if they were to do it, the games wouldn't stay on the Sony platform. They would have to go multi-platform. There's no way they could make that money back otherwise.
I had a week-old video on that day about how I like Game Pass. And somebody jumped on the comment section of that 6-day-old video and said, "Rip Xbox! Next GTA 6 is going to be exclusive to Sony." I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, in either case, it was
Yeah.
just a rumor. Some people wanted us to kind of touch on that, so I had it in here. Halo Master Chief Collection. As we all know, that's actually going to PC, as you know, we all said it would be. Going to Steam as well. And right now, there's only going to be Halo Reach going there. Who was it? Some fucking turd on Twitter was saying, "Oh, I like how Halo Reach is, on Xbox and multiplayer is free, but you got to pay $5 for the campaign." And on PC, it's all just one thing. Like, it's not, you don't, he was acting like the game is free on PC,
Right.
which made no fucking sense. I mean, the idiot just basically said that Xbox got the multiplayer for free. You pay $5 for the Reach campaign, but on PC, you didn't get the multiplayer for free. It's all one package. You got to pay for it no matter what. And he was spinning that as though it was a bad, what was it? Red, fucking, whatever. Yeah. Idiot. So, once more, Halo Reach is definitely coming to PC. That's going to be the first episode. I guess it's not ready to be released all at once, and they don't even have a date on that, right, Colt?
Yeah, I don't. It's going to be late. They say later this year, so I just expect long after E3. I'm really looking forward to playing Reach.
Well,
there's a lot of problems with the Halo Master Chief Collection. I don't know how much you're going to cover.
Well, I mean, there's always been problems, but I think that they're going to make
no. I don't mean like
money.
I don't mean technical problems. Like the Play Anywhere thing is Play Anywhere is dead. So all of us who own Master Chief Collection digital, we're not going to get the PC version, like which as a twofer, which is which is bull crap.
That's stupid.
Really stupid.
I hope someone's listening. That needs to be looked at because. Yeah, man. There's
That's literally a green light switch, right, D? That's just one thing where they need to go, yeah, that's not cool. We'll just flip the switch and it'll be on your account on Windows 10 Store, If
it's not a licensing thing or anything like that holding them from doing it, then they should do it. If not, then they're just stupid. Just put it for Play Anywhere.
That is definitely a slap in the face.
I think it's just not. I think it's one of those things where if they're only releasing one game anyway, that if that's barely ready, then they probably don't have everything ported through Play Anywhere or anything anyway. So, I mean, or they didn't use UWP to do this on PC, and that's why it's coming to Steam as well. And if they would have used UWP, and then you would have got to Play Anywhere, but it wouldn't have been able to come to Steam, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, like the cross progression and cross save thing would be like a big labor intensive thing to work out. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. Like, Underachiever in the chat said that Halo MCC is not a Play Anywhere title, so it can't go to PC and Xbox at the same time. And he has a good point because, like when you play Anywhere, a little box pops up on PC. It takes like 5 seconds and just syncs your save, and you're good to go, like where you left off on console. Like, and that's really important and what makes Play Anywhere so cool.
Hey, we got to give a shout out to over 700 people watching this live, guys. Let's try to get the 300 likes from the end of the show. 1,000 if you're watching after the fact. We really do appreciate it. Halo coming to PC. It's not the first time Combat Evolved was ported to PC by Gearbox Studios. Long ago, they were actually considered for Halo 4. Bonnie Ross had to convince Microsoft to keep development in-house. But yeah, Halo coming back to PC in a big way through Master Chief Collection. And of course, we all know Xbox are only bringing games to PC because they're failing and they're flopping. And then you remember that they did games for Windows Live forever ago. And everyone who's ever said that is an idiot because they forgot about games for Windows Live, which didn't do well either because it wasn't executed well. But at the end of the day, let's go ahead and move it forward. EA skipping E3 2019. This is a little bit older news. It's like a week maybe because we missed last week. EA skipping E3 2019. Fonzarelli, what is the big deal here, and why do you think they're doing this? Are you big on EA right now?
No, they're the devil basically.
Oh, okay.
But as far as
get angry about it, Fonz. Well, tell us some more.
No.
Would you like to know more?
I think they're skipping it because E3 is just becoming irrelevant now that Sony's not going. It's ridiculous, and Xbox has no games, and what else? The only exclusive Xbox has is Xbox Live. What else? EA, no, seriously, EA is not going to E3. It's not hurting me at all. We'll still see some of their games and stuff being showcased on.
What's the last EA game you loved, Fonz?
The last EA game
that you loved.
That I loved.
Anthem.
Shut up, soccer.
Man, I don't know, man. We might be going back to like Mass Effect 2.
Holy
It's
crap.
been a while. I don't know. That
Buck
I
Roger
love-
in the chat says EA's been dead for over 10 years.
Bob Dole likes Viagra.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really cares that they're not showing up, to be honest. I mean, do you guys honestly care that they're not going?
I'm glad. You know what? The second they said Command and Conquer, new Command and Conquer for a new generation, and the guy pulled out a cell phone sitting on a toilet, that's when I was done with EA for a little bit. When you curve stomp the shit out of Command and Conquer, a franchise with a lot of potential, if you just fucking took a risk
With
and
rainbow
invested
tanks.
heavily, you know, like it's
Why you
it's
gotta
an
bring up
RTF,
sore
but
shit, bro?
you know?
Why you gotta bring up sore shit? That
Yeah,
With
so
those
much.
rainbow tanks and stuff or whatever they were.
it's a disgrace to. It's not even an RTS. It's a toilet TS, is what it is. It's horrible. You play it with one finger, and I don't like it.
It's kind of funny that a lot of people like in the industry, like in GameSpot, IGN, everywhere, they were kind of like, EA's not going to do a conference, and they kind of went like, good, because they've always been like the worst ones every year.
Oh,
And apparently, the woman that hosted it last year, that girl, she said that EA asked her for like feedback, and she was like, "Yeah, I don't even know if you guys should even do this anymore." Like
you
was
guys
her
don't got no
feedback.
games.
No, just like you guys, just like it's just not good. Like people don't care to go see like Antonio Brown or whoever the hell it was from the Steelers or like a wide receiver going up there and playing Madden. No one gives a fuck. No one wants to see that.
Philly
And that's
Eagle,
all they
why
were
you calling
doing.
me out like that, bro? Huh? I like Command and Conquer.
So do I.
Yeah, I mean there are strategy fans out there, but either way, regardless of if there's 100,000 of us left, we don't want it on a fucking cell phone like that. So they could have done a lot more.
yeah.
Facts.
Facts.
Yeah. So EA dropping out. They don't got much this year. They're not doing the Battlefield this year. They're not doing Battlefront this year. They've got Respawn's Star Wars game, which for all we know now, after their little Apex Legends success, they'll probably just port that into Apex Legends, and that'll be the game. I don't know.
Bethesda's going, right? Because I saw an article like Bethesda's going to E3, and I'm like, man, since just because Sony dropped out, everybody's like have to report who's going now.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Well,
It's kind of like crazy. Like Bethesda's like, yeah, I guess we're going to be there. Yeah, okay. Like we're going to do a conference.
Mateo, EA is where great studios go to die.
don't
Yeah.
you want to see like?
Yeah.
Don't you want to see like two guys commentating over like Apex gameplay? You know, screaming
No.
at each other.
No, I hate that. That's so bad.
D-Batch, why do you think EA are they're skipping out? They're done.
Well, they don't really have anything to show, so that's what it is. And of course, everybody's following Sony, so they're following the trend.
Well, at the
No,
end
we
of the
got,
day,
we got nothing to show, man. I
Yeah.
think that's what it boils down to.
Ubisoft's so great, but their show is really, really cheesy, really campy. So
I don't remember their showing. All I remember was Assassin's Creed. and
they
being like,
started
yeah,
with
I wanna
this
play it.
Just Dance like thing in the streets and for like 14 minutes. And I think Dealer and I were kind of watching it, like texting back and forth, like, what the heck is this?
all right. Well, you
Do you
guys
guys
are.
Do you think it has anything to do with maybe it, the event being opened up to the public, and a lot of developers didn't like that? The past couple of years, they were talking about how it was just overcrowded, and
Oh,
a lot of
Oh.
developers weren't too keen on doing that. So
I mean, EA literally have nothing, and they've spent the last couple of years running all their franchises into the ground. So, no, I don't think it's that at all.
I mean, I don't think that. I don't know if that affects the developers more than it affects the press. Because the media people, I don't know if you hear them talking about E3, they're just like, oh fuck, like God. I know once some of them were even like relieved. They're like, that's another conference I don't have to run to and like report on. Like they're just like, it's too. And they said it's crowded. Mostly the media people.
Oh no, you gotta go fucking look into some video games, you fucking piece of shit. You know, like
tough job.
yeah, Jesus, like it's another thing I don't have to do. What do you have to do? You motherfuckers have been stealing reviews from people on YouTube. Like you don't even write those anymore. So
Honestly, like Sony, Microsoft can go and do their thing. Like EA and Ubisoft don't really need to have their own show, or Bethesda. Like they can just have those big console companies, run their games for them and show them. But I mean, you need Sony there. To be honest, you need Sony and Microsoft there.
hey,
and-
Abaka, here's
and
the
Google.
300 like. Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah.
You guys are. Well, you guys gonna go ahead? Yeah.
No, I'm just saying. Like I think Sony should be there. They have no excuse. They should be there representing these companies who can't run their own show or don't want to. So,
Well, in
Sony-
either case, hey, guess what? Undead Labs, they are boosting their studio talent. So they're adding 30 new employees, which by the way, is like, what is that? That's almost not quite doubling, but almost doubling the size of that studio. A lot of people forget how small Undead Labs was. They were a little indie team, right? So that's kind of big for them, and I'm scared.
Is that them? Is that with the people they already hired last year? Because last year when they announced the acquisition, they had more hires. Is that like 30 more on top of that?
That's 30 more
Oh, Jesus.
or some shit.
Cool. Well, they're going to need it because they need to fix that game.
I mean, the game's fixed. State of Decay 2 runs great and is pretty consistent now, especially. But we had talked about the next generation sequel that had been greenlighted forever on the show, well, like forever ago. They're working on State of Decay 3. The question is, are they keeping that same art style? Are they doing a hard reboot? Because in my opinion, everything needs to be hard rebooted, all the way down to the art style and the realism, the way the game works. It's already a pretty realistic game. It just doesn't look very realistic. But there's just things they need to do at the very bottom level and get rid of those programmers they've been using, because that game should not be able to not have any dips at all with the way it looks at all on anything. But
that running animation. That needs to
stick up your butt. Yeah,
he's walking with a extra magazine in his butt crack fonts. He's like Rob Schneider in 50 First Dates. He's got the joint in his butt crack.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, David Robinson again, super chat. Shout out to Dealer and Crew. You probably don't remember. I had asked you about my my wheels spinning, and you got right back to me with the correct answer. Thank you. No problem at all, man. Thanks a lot for checking us out.
Is he talking about mud runners or helping him with getting through life?
I help a lot of people like
I
on
know
Twitter
you do.
DMs and stuff. So I don't
Mother Teresa.
Yeah. Except for I don't got that big ass forehead. So, hey, I wanna go ahead and that's actually, it's funny because I was listening to a Lonely Island song where they're making fun of her for some reason. So it was kind of a joke for any Mother Teresa fans in here. Just kidding. So
wait, what console is Mother Teresa?
Mother Teresa.
I don't know, man. We're
exclusive.
We always have this shit going on where we miss a week or something. The next week, like everything's fucking out of whack. So I'm just trying to. These motherfuckers are all asleep. I'm trying to talk as much as possible because no one else is saying shit.
We're nursing you through your Ebola. Just keep doing the show.
Ebola. I think kids should be called Ebola myself. I'm just gonna throw that out there, but I don't have any of those. Thank Jeebus. So
they're like Ebola. I can.
Yep. So Fonz, this has been kind of going around. A couple little turds been saying this. PlayStation doesn't need E3, and while they may be technically correct, none of these companies need E3. Why are they focused on that? Do you think shouldn't they be focused on the fact that hey, I've always liked E3. I've always hyped E3 up, and I always want to see what's coming up. How come they're kind of saying this and putting this out there in videos now? Do you think?
Because their favorite plastic box isn't going to be there. It's that obvious. Like,
but shouldn't they want that to be there?
Of course. I mean, without Sony at E3, like, Colt was just saying it, they need Sony. They need Microsoft at E3. That's how we see all these games. I mean, nobody was watching that EA dog shit show. When we did, we were like, damn, this sucks. But you usually saw every one of their games that they do show on the other, on Microsoft or Sony stage. And that's where, you tend to get the better shows. You get to see the games in a better light, in my opinion, without all the bullshit. But yeah, I mean, without Sony there, it does suck. I don't really understand the reason behind people.
But Shadow Spade says because people care about games, not presentations. Aren't these presentations designed to be, about an hour and a half of games?
Aren't these presentations of games?
I think these people sometimes they just get delusional when they think about these plastic boxes and they start just going nuts.
When the proof will come in, Fonz? The proof will come in June when Microsoft starts their show, and the guys who say they don't care about E3 are going to be watching the conference.
We all watch E3.
They're all going to be watching.
What gamers don't watch E3? A true gamer always watches these shows. I mean, a lot of you still watch Inside Xbox, for crying out loud, and that thing sucks. But it's what a gamer does. I watch the highlights from the show whenever they do show stuff. it's like we, as a gamer, you want to see the new things. So anybody saying that they don't give a shit about E3 anymore, I don't believe them.
Ashtray
Well, I'll
Gaming
be-
says
I'll be-
stay in school, and I agree because you're right. A lot of, and Jamie Moran said this on Twitter. Is funny. He said all these people saying E3 is irrelevant. When Xbox's E3 is on, he had a gif of some dude peeking around a corner like a little crackhead. I thought that was funny because that's what these
Well-
guys are going to be doing. They're going to be tuning in, right?
Well, I think the big thing about E3 is like, yeah, we're all going to be tuning in. Everybody here, even the trolls, everybody, we're all going to be tuning in. We're the gamers. The biggest difference with E3 that makes E3 what the fuck it is that I get my friends that don't really keep up with games talking about games that they saw like randomly on YouTube or something, like the days like after E3. Like they'll just be like, oh man, like I saw like the big one last year, and I'm not joking, was Last of Us 2. Like one of my buddies was like, yeah, that girl, like she was like in a weird place and she like stabbed the dude in the neck. I'm like, Last of Us 2. They're like, yeah, that one, that looked fucking cool. I'm like, yeah, you don't even fucking play mini games at all. And you're talking about this. That's what E3 does. More eyeballs see it. A lot of media goes there, not just gaming media, all media goes there because it's where the central hub of gaming news drops. That's where people go there for people. That's what they go there to see. And Sony said they're not going there. They're going next year. But they're not going this year because they have nothing to show, basically.
They're going to watch because Microsoft's going to show like 50 games, whatever, and like 20 plus of those games will be multi-plats that will be on the PlayStation and PC as well. So like they will have to watch. It's going to be hard not to.
Yeah.
You're going to want to see what is, because like a lot of changes are going to come at E3. We're going to hear more about xCloud. We're going to hear more about next generation. We're going to hear more about new games that are coming on the Xbox Game Studio platform and what's coming on PlayStation. You know, just like Sony has plenty of multi-plats on their show too. So everybody's going to be watching.
Do we know
and
if
Microsoft
Ubisoft
gets
is
to control the narrative. Microsoft gets to be the voice of gaming for E3 2019 because Sony's not going to be there. It's just kind of how it is.
And third party, massive presence on there. I mean, I bet you they're having to debate on who to have on their stage. Because they've got everyone in the house, and like I said, I hope that Batman game's there, and I want that Avengers game to be there as well. Which that Avengers rumor wasn't true. There was a rumor that Avengers was going to show up at the Google keynote thing today, right? D Batch, you fucking fraud.
Yeah, well, they said on a tweet that they're going to be at the conference. Well, and I said in my video too that I thought people were kind of running a little too far with that tweet.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was rumored, and yeah, it turns out not to be the case.
They showed off Rise to the Tomb Raider. It's like that's an old ass game.
Yeah, no doubt. They showed off Rise because Rise got an update for RTX, so now you can do ray tracing in not Rise. Sorry, Shadow of the Tomb Raider got ray tracing today. But yeah, they showed Rise. I don't know.
And I'm looking forward to the third parties. The third part, like Ubisoft, everybody at E3. I enjoy. I know people don't like Ubisoft. Colt, you said you didn't like their conference, but man, they're fucking.
I love their games.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Like everything they brought out, they've become one of the best developers around.
Yeah, I told Dealer that just yesterday. We were talking in a party chat, and I said, Dealer, I think Ubisoft has become one of my favorite developers over these last few years.
Yep.
After Odyssey, and stuff
Odyssey,
like that, yeah.
Far Cry 5 is
your
really
tune
fun.
has changed, Fonz, and I'm happy to hear it, buddy.
Yeah.
By the way, Fonz was talking some shit, calling Zalker a corpse. What's going on? What's going on there, Fonz?
When was this?
Scumcast.
Oh yeah, he's a corpse on Scumcast. He's done. He said he quit Scumcast.
Oh yeah,
corpse.
Oh yeah, getting a job and working, sucks. You got to be a corpse now.
Yeah, we know it wasn't because you was getting beat on. I mean,
What?
you're
Do we have topics to talk about
definitely
here, you
more
little drama
intelligent
queens?
than most people I've heard like go up against you on the panel there. So
No, it's not like that, man.
you run circles around a lot of the crackheads that come after you on there. Once again, we gotta give a shout out to everybody hitting us up, checking us out. Hit that like button, does help. We really appreciate it. Really relaxed show this week. Apparently, we're gonna go ahead and talk about some Xbox 2 and PS5 custom tech here that basically is kind of coming out of the woodworks here. They're saying that these things could feature or may feature an internal physics engine. So this would be some kind of chip. D-Batch, did you see this article going around a little bit ago?
No, I didn't see it.
So
Brief me on it.
we had talked about developers had already been talking about how physics were kind of going to be one of the big things for next gen. Like that's going to be the thing that blows people's minds. They don't, because a lot of people don't understand how physics can improve or enhance a game like PhysX, water simulation, fur, hair, cloth, all this different stuff that it can do, destruction and deformation and all this stuff. And according to this newest kind of rumor, that these consoles could feature some kind of custom chips to amplify that kind of stuff, to take it a step forward. And in my opinion, physics is one of the biggest places where they can really ramp things up and blow people away and show them stuff they've never seen on consoles before. I've shown it, like even in my Batman Arkham Origins footage, some of the rare PC footage I use on my channel. You know, all that snow when he's fighting, the snow's following his cape and dancing around him and stuff. All that stuff's powered by physics. And it's just really impressive. All the fog, and you can walk through it and watch it actually be pushed out of your way as you're walking, all that stuff, you know? So, if that were to happen, D, you know, what are your thoughts on all that? Cause that's more impressive to me than ray tracing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think physics have really come too far this generation. They kind of been stagnant. Some games I actually seen some regression.
Yeah, because of weak CPUs, right?
Yeah, I hate to bring it up, but like Crackdown, like I was watching a video the other day of Crackdown, and like the physics were better in the original Crackdown than on the Crackdown that we got now. So yeah, man, AI is really important. Physics is really important for next gen, and I hope they use this chip. Obviously, it'll relieve a lot of stress on the system so that we can use that extra power for other things. So, I think it's a good thing. Bring gaming forward. I don't know if you guys have actually done this, but in the Division, if you sit there, you could chip away. At the bricks, like the slabs. Or if you keep shooting them, you could chip away at them. Like you could sit there for like 20 minutes and chip away at it.
I think the new, like what you guys were talking about, like getting the new CPR or whatever and getting better AI and stuff, a lot of that has to do with the implementation of the code, right? Because if you play Division 2 right now, the AI is actually really fucking smart.
Amazing.
They're really good. Like you'll just start opening fire on some of them, and two of the guys will just straight run, and you're like, where the fuck are they going? They're going behind you to fuck you in the ass. That's what they're going to do. And it's crazy. No, it's good. Like it's really good. Like you have to actually stay on your toes and freaking figure it out, because the AI will outflank you, will do a bunch of stuff. And that's, on the developer side, right? That's coding it. That's getting the AI to be very crispy smooth, so to speak. And that's something that they need to do. Yeah, you can get all the power you want in the world for a physics engine, but AI is way more codependent on basically people coding it correctly.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey, we got any final thoughts on kind of what you'd like to see come out of this supposed technology if it does hit?
I'm looking forward to it. I want to see awesome destructible environments like Google just showed. God, they're going to win everything.
ramp up the frame rate and then wrap up the AI and the physics. Yeah.
I like how everybody saw that and they're like, wow, that's really impressive. And Microsoft showed it. They're all fucking horse shit. It's hilarious, dude.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, it's Google and people are looking at this as the second coming for gaming. So there's a lot of potential here. We'll see what happens. We're not ones to sit here and just cry about shit that hasn't even happened for one. So, we could be a little more dramatic and entertaining about it. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think negative fear mongering in the gaming space, especially on YouTube, is one of the biggest problems we got right now. And I'm definitely not going to try to contribute to it unless I don't have to. So,
run away. That new tech is going to come steal your babies. Run away.
Yeah, like it probably already stole one or two, depending on how far you are away from it. It likes to go for the weak ones and the ones on the outskirts first. So definitely keep your children together and
hide your kids, hide your
kids and whatnot. And
that's not true. Give Me Your Jacket said Richard Ledbetter will find a negative in anything on Xbox. No, actually, he's actually very positive about Xbox and gives them props quite a bit.
Yeah, since the review, I've noticed the guy has been pretty the review. What the fuck am I talking about?
The reveal, yeah.
Since the Xbox One X specs reveal that they sent him there to kind of do, the guy respects powerful technology and the Xbox One X. I saw this video comparing a $500 RTX 2060 versus an X. I'm like, this again. For one, that PC is not $500.
No.
All right, you fucking scraped that thing together. You bought old corporate PCs, right? And then you slap an RTX 2060 in there.
It's got a $300 CPU in it.
It doesn't matter if that PC was $300. a console gamer is still not going to choose that fucking thing. Secondly, there's so many people that would never even just slot in a GPU. They don't want to fuck with it, let alone any kind of driver stuff. It's all very simple, yes, but people don't want to deal with it. It's not that they can't do it or they don't have the money to do it. It's that they don't want to deal with it.
So here's the problem. Here's the problem. Like they showed that on the Division 2, the shadows and the lighting were at lower than low settings on PC. And they're comparing it to like a $600, $700, $800 PC. So they were showing about how this 4K game on the X actually has tessellation or shadows that are very low quality. That's fine because, you know, like Ubisoft tailored that to keep a steady frame rate and to keep the rest of the visuals looking, because the game looks really good, right, Zocker? Say yes.
Yeah.
So here's the problem. Here's the problem. Digital Foundry, I really, really like Digital Foundry. I like what they do. I love watching their stuff. I have a certain amount of respect for them, but they've constantly been doing this where they compare a $600 to $1,200 PC to the X, and then they shine a light about how the X isn't cutting it. But what they don't do is they don't put the Pro in there when they do this detailed analysis of the PC. So either it's a compliment or it's an insult. I'm not sure which is it, dealer, because they're never
$600 PCs anyway, because they're getting all this shit. They're scraping it all together. A lot of times they're using used parts, and they're also building all this shit themselves.
Yeah, and this red guy you were talking about, I don't know his full name, this YouTuber, he was making fun of how the X is low settings compared to a PC at like a $700 build. Like, but the guy never mentions, like, these people aren't mentioning the Pro. Like, sure, what if the X is running 4K with low setting shadows? What's the Pro doing? Like, that's the same discussion, guys. It's so stupid. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
And a lot of these guys that are, building these computers that are $600-700, a lot of them, they're using used parts. Like if you go through eBay or you go through Craigslist and you try to get used parts for your PC, you're taking a chance right there, when you buy that shit. So
I'm gonna find a used Xbox One X on the side of the road.
A lot of us don't want to do that. We don't want to mess with that stuff. As a console gamer, I don't want to mess with that stuff.
Fonz, I can find you an Xbox One X on Newegg right now with a game for $399. So there's no way. There's no way.
The thing is, what people have to understand is there are people out there like me who have done the gaming thing or who haven't done the gaming thing and are just console gamers. We just want to play on console. We don't give a damn about your PC. So why you show me, oh, look what my PC can do compared to your console? I don't give a damn. I don't. Doesn't bother me.
I'll say this: gamers next generation are going to feel a lot better because I strongly believe that the next gen will be 4K 60.
Yep.
And finally, console gamers can experience that 60 and not feel, like the freaking stepchild. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, D. Will they have dolphins though?
I think so.
I'm in. Hey, I want to say thanks to everyone joining us. We got to get the fuck out of here. Okay, who's turning into a Pokemon? What's going on right now? We're a little rusty this week, but hey, we made it through. We got some pretty good topics. The Google stuff, if you want to hear all that and some stuff that no one else is really pointing out, we talked about all that stuff at the beginning. Check out the show when it renders, when it shoots up to the channel. Of course, hit that like button as we do some outros. Shout out to all the sponsors and all the patrons. You guys are awesome. We're probably going to move this show over to some kind of OBS format. Should have did this a long time ago. We really have proven that we don't need to do that, but we're going to do it anyway just to make it better for you guys. And that's going to take some time and stuff for me to look into and do.
Some
but
help from Colt.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely figure that out. Check out some new artwork on the way too from Graphic God. He's working on some stuff for me. A lot of stuff coming up. So, but yeah, I'm kind of sick right now. Probably try to have a video out this week sometime. And we kind of just bogged through this show, but hey, we do appreciate you guys rocking out with us. And we're gonna do some outros. Coldies, what have you been playing? Where can people find you?
Still playing through Devil May Cry. I'm on like chapter 9 out of 12, I think. And I'm trying to play Division with my friends when they're on, but everybody goes to bed. But yeah, check out my last video about post-console world and how it's going to change, and it's a positive video. It's an enjoyable one.
Where's Sony? Zachar, what have you been playing? Where can people find you?
I've been playing Division 2. Literally, that's all I've been playing for the last week. I'm already at the end game, gearing up, getting ready for Raid. You guys can check out my review at my channel, Zalker87. You guys can find me at Twitter, at Zalker87. And I also Twitch a lot now because I enjoy it. And I talk to people. People are really cool. Met some really cool people there. Twitch.tv/Zalker87.
Okay. Hey, D-Batch, what have you been playing? Where can people find you, bud?
I've been playing The Division, and I've been playing a little bit of Fortnite on my Galaxy S10 Plus. And you can find me on Twitter at D_batch and at YouTube at DBatch. I did today's keynote from Google, so you can see it in its entirety there. And then I also did a follow-up video on my thoughts and impressions of the show.
Awesome. We've also got Jay Fonzarelli. Buddy, what have you been playing? Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Jay Fonzarelli on Twitter and here on YouTube. And I just made a video today, just a quick little video about the Google Stadia. So check that out if you want a good little tip on if this is the future of gaming or not.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a very interesting place to be. Did I get everybody?
Yeah, bro.
Jeez, dude, I'm so tired.
Yeah,
We're literally watching you die on the air.
Yeah,
You're
we're literally
pretty good for
witnessing.
being dead.
I don't know what.
Dylan wasn't killed. He was murdered.
I don't know.
Yeah. What happened to Addict anyway?
He was murdered. I don't know.
Oh, geez.
He said,
go.
"Fuck this shit. I'm out."
He says it in the chat here. He said he had to go. Something came up.
Hey, thanks, Xbox Guy
okay.
UK. Everybody saying it well, whatever. Thank you guys. Definitely gonna try. I don't usually get sick, so. But this is beyond. I don't know what the fuck this is. This is some vile shit. It's evil.
Bro, I had the same thing the last couple of weeks. I'm still trying to get over it, man.
Ugh.
Sucks.
But
always have oregano oil on hand. Oregano oil will save your life.
What the crap, dude?
oregano. Oh, I ain't trying to cook no fish sticks, motherfucker.
No, there's like a medical oregano oil.
Or you can use some goat butter. That works.
Some goat ball butter.
Oh my god! All right, well that's our cue. So goat ball butter. Gonna get the fuck out after that. Jesus.
What the fuck?
And extracted by Deep Batch.
Okay. All right. Thanks for watching this, guys. We are out.
Later, everybody.
I got goat ball butter twice.